Hey, what's going on everyone? Vega here for Serpent Tech, and in this video we're going to be talking about why your overclocks may not work for everyone, especially me. As we can see here, the 3080 is getting very toasty on memory temperatures because it's in a grow tent in North Florida here in the US where it's very hot. And if we open up the grow tent, you will see three different systems. At the very bottom we got our Nvidia mixed rig. We got a couple of 1660 Supers, a 1660 Ti, a 3080, a 3060 Ti, a 2080, a 1080 Ti, and a 3070 Founders Edition. The middle one is all AMD with a mix of RX 5700s, a 6800, a 6600 XT, and that's pretty much it. And on the third system, we have a mixed rig of Nvidia systems or Nvidia cards, again, LHR and two non-LHR. Inside this little tent area, it gets pretty toasty. As you can see here, we were hitting 109 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is one of the most important factors to why you won't be able to hit the same clocks I can, or I can't hit the same clocks you can. Because obviously there's a difference between someone in Canada mining versus someone around the equator mining. The thermal conditions, the environmental conditions, and other factors play a key role in why the overclocks won't match each other. For example, there's something else called the silicon lottery. These two cards are both the 1660 Supers, but if you remember me recording a video on those, they're made by two different manufacturers. Same card, same GPU die, same exact layout, but made by two different manufacturers, and one card can hit certain clocks and hash rates better than another. Additionally, environmental factors. My children were playing in this area and they were throwing a little foam die around. It bounced and it hit the 1080 Ti when this was not all here. It was just the Nvidia rig at the very bottom. It hit the 1080 Ti, causing it not to work as well. I was able to get it working again. Unfortunately though, it does not hit the same clocks and hash rate as it used to. So, just to recap, environmental conditions play a key role on why, even if you try the same clocks as other people recommend, you may not get to there. Thermal constraints, which obviously depends on where you live, as well as the ambient air temperature of your environment, and silicon lottery. So let's switch over to the system and I'll show you a little bit more. Just to make something crystal clear, I really appreciate all the individuals out there that share their data and information, especially when a new GPU comes out and we're able to see what they're able to get and what a number of other people are, as far as core clock, mem clock, voltages throughout different areas in the world, because each region is going to be different. For example, someone in Canada that is in a colder climate, I'm not going to be able to replicate their exact same settings and get the exact same results closer to the equator. And, I respect and appreciate every single one of you who share all of this information throughout the various platforms so that way we can get a baseline and kind of test and tune from there. One of the user recommended settings on the left-hand side, I tried, and for my GPUs on the RX 5700 series, I was not able to replicate or get good results. For example, you can see the core clock 1250, core voltage 770, memory controller voltage 765, memory clock 900. Now, I was able to get 900, 920 on my 5700s when the AMD system was separated by itself comparative to the Nvidia system. So the AMD was towards the front of the house, the Nvidia system towards the back. But now that everything's consolidated, I can't get to those levels. Memory voltage 1295, fan obviously turned up, power limit obviously turned up, and an SoC frequency 965, and an SoC VDD max 765. For the 5700, my Gigabyte card seems to be a dud, and I've had issues since I bought this card secondhand. It was only getting about 5 mega hash when I applied these user recommended settings, and it was not going to work for me. Same thing with the PowerColor cards, the lesser 5700 XTs, because the Red Devils are really good, but these cards are just kind of the plain Jane ones. I was only able to get 5 mega hash on one and then about 30 mega hash on the other. Right now, if you compare the videos I did in the past, the teardowns, thermal improvements, and stuff like that, the clocks that I have set in those videos versus the clocks that I have set now are completely different. What I wanted to do is I wanted to keep those exactly the same, so that way the only variable was the changes I made, the improvements in thermal paste application, thermal pads, so on and so forth. So a few of the cards are running a little bit warmer. The XFX stick is able to get close to the user recommended settings as far as SoC, VDD max, but I'm not able to get that 900 mem 24/7 stable. But everything else is pretty much on par with what I already had. So just keep that in mind when you see a video and you're just like, hey, your clocks are wrong. That setup may be just for that video. What I run 24/7, 365 is going to be something completely different. Again, mentioning a 1080 Ti that was hit by my children. You know, some people, when you go to Hive OS, are running a higher memory clock and a higher core frequency or whatever, or maybe even a lower core frequency. For example, 187 people are using 80 on the core, 1200 on the mem with a power limit of 230, but I only have 450 on the mem and a power limit of 220. If I try to push this memory above 500, now this car has been damaged in some form or another, I start getting a bunch of rejected shares. I have issues. It causes instability. So just bear that in mind when you're sharing your data and results, or if you see others sharing their data and results, that you got to take into account environmental conditions, thermal conditions, silicon lottery. All right. So sharing data with one another is good, but just calling somebody out and telling them they're wrong, they're doing it wrong is in my opinion, a little bit disrespectful. You need to understand all the parameters. I can't run what said fintech's running because of his location compared to my location. That's two factors that are going to impact me and get me a lesser result. Thermal constraints and environmental conditions. Plus, I don't know the silicon lottery. He might have lucked out, or I might have lucked out. Red Panda Mining in Canada. So, you know, those different parameters do affect results. But if you share your data in Canada or in Norway, and I share my data around the equator or in a more tropical setting, then we can get kind of a baseline, which is what What's in Mine offers. The data that they show on the website is more of an estimation, but you use that, you get your baseline, you set your clock, your mem clock, your voltages, your TDP or power limit, and then you can just test and tune to get the best efficiency for you, because that's really what it's all about. Efficiency, to me, is the number one thing, but the second most important thing is uptime. But that's going to do it for today's video. Please do me a favor on the way out, hit the like button. Don't forget to get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here, like the dojo.com. You can get some sweet Serpent merch and much more. And besides that, you all have a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.